came out as like the Wukong master in the top lane, and it seems to have fallen off a little bit.
We've still seen him do very well in lane, but the more like team aspects of your role that come with experience still aren't there.
We'll see if he can pull it out here against Crazy here for game number 1. As we get on into the draft, though, it's Suning on our blue side, Rogue Warriors on our red side. And by the looks of things, it was relatively standard bans. I saw the Varus ban, I saw the Kalista ban. So your 80 carries that you expect to be taken off the board, I expect to be removed.
Yeah, but it does look like we're taking a step back. And the question for me is, where will Suning want to go? Because Suning have been a team that have really gravitated towards the Aphelios. They haven't really picked up the Ezreal. They actually banned Kalista every single game, so we know huanfeng's not going to pick that one up. But, okay, they understand the Band-Aids they need, and first picking that Ashe is actually so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we said it already, that this Ashe has very much been one of their reliable forms of engage. It's been a way to make these compositions work for them. A first pick, though, is kind of bold, honestly.
Yeah, because you're giving up a lot of power picks. One is obviously the Syndra, which we've seen first picked on blue side quite often. The other one you would think of is the Trundle, which does so well at punishing immobile carries.
One of the interesting things about the Syndra lock-in from Rogue Warriors is it's possible that that goes down into the bottom lane. That's something that we see it's banned for in the LEC. However, it's not something we have seen this split in the LPL.
And it wouldn't really fit ZWuJi. He's very much an, like, 80 carry player. We don't expect him to go towards these mages. I would expect it to go towards Ruby. He's a lot more of this control mage player, right? Mains the Azir. And now Rogue Warriors is going to lock in this set. This does have a lot of flex possibilities. We can see it go in the bot lane towards Lei. Yes, played it once already. Or it could be played in top or jungle. So, big fan of early picking flexes on red side.
Yep, this set, very, very flexible. On the other side of the board, though, Suning going to lock in the Jarvan 4 for SofM. So we were talking about their engagements. SofM going to have a lot of that pressure on him on this Jarvan. And Angel going for some mid-game power in the LeBlanc.
Suning are already setting up for a pick comp, so despite having the Jarvan, you still have a lot of non-committal engage, right? LeBlanc can get in and out of fights very easily with her distortion, and Ashe always going to have that enchanted crystal arrow, so Suning have gone back to the drawing board and seem to realize what they need to do kind of in-game, and even LeBlanc versus Syndra going to give Angel a lot of tools to play around in this matchup.
Whereas Rogue Warrior is very much going for the opposite side of things here, looking towards the later stages of the game with a Kai'Sa locked in for ZWuJi. You mentioned that he's very much an AD carry player by definition. And when you think of ZWuJi, he is that old Vayne one trick. Kai'Sa and Vayne kind of fall into a similar category.
They do, so gonna be nice to see him be played around as the main carry for this team, and I like that they're banning out these supports that cover up the lack of mobility with a Thresh. It kind of signals to me that they will go with the set towards the support position. Lei is a lot more of a playmaking support player anyway. We don't expect to see him on really any sort of enchanters. He's a big engage role for the team.
Wukong has been taken off the board though, which means that we're not going to quite get to see the same level out of Bin. It feels like Wukong was very much his standout pick in that top lane. He has played a bit of Aatrox, a bit of Renekton as well, so not like he's been taken off the board entirely, but Wukong was very much what he was getting the highlight reels with.
And along with that Wukong, I like that you mentioned the Renekton, so I wonder if Rogue Warriors are going to want to pick that up here and have it as a takeaway, because the only other thing Bin's really been a standout on is the Aatrox. So, of course, Renekton having a good matchup into that Aatrox would be a good pick for Rogue Warriors.
Certainly an option for them, but with a Rek'Sai hover right now, they're actually going to go straight away and lock it in. So, Youdang going to have the Rek'Sai in the jungle, which, again, we're seeing this coming on through, but I'm still not really... It doesn't feel like it's been that great of a pick in the LPL.
We've seen some players really thrive on it, like Karsa obviously does extremely well in the early game 2v2s, has so many options to gank from. But right now, Rogue Warriors' composition's really convoluted and feels like it's going to hinge a lot on what their last pick will be. Moving over to Suning, though, they went completely towards comfort. We expected the Renekton and sort of also going towards that Bard, so Suning, stock and standard pick composition. I really like what they've drafted. It's really focused on early game power, a lot of, you know, sinners in this composition, as they'd say in the LCK, but that's what we love here in the LPL.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, as you rightly say, comfort for Suning. And when you're a team that's on a 3-loss streak against the top teams, now you're against a team like Rogue Warriors, why not get some comfort for yourselves? On the other side, Crazy locks in the Jayce for this top lane, saying that he wants to go for a 1v1.
Yeah, so it's kind of strange. Rogue Warriors have a pseudo, I want to say, siege composition, has some elements of pick. You have a lot of range to play from, right, with Kai'Sa from her W, as well as Jayce. Even Ruby going to be able to throw out those Scatter the Weeks to try to keep Suning away. And then Lei's going to be the one to use that Sett ultimate kind of as disengage to keep the members of Rogue Warriors safe.
I just want to know how Rogue Warriors ever find a fight if they're ahead. Because one thing they are seriously lacking in this composition is engage. If Suning don't want to fight, there's no way for Rogue Warriors to force them.
But at the same time, right, we just set up that they do have the range to play with. They do have options in a poke comp. And we've actually seen a lot of teams around the world trend towards Rek'Sai when they do have these long-range sort of siege compositions, because his passive is just so useful to spotting out where enemy team can come from with their windows of engage.
And if you've got poke, like for example a Jayce in the top lane, you want to shoot some blind shots at the enemy, that tremor sense that you're talking about from Rek'Sai is really going to set Jayce up to be able to get that damage out. And when, as you rightly say, with a poke composition, you want to get the damage out before a fight ever happens. But it's good to see two drastically different styles coming out from our two teams here. One team from Rogue Warriors that wants to play further back, wants to poke, doesn't necessarily want to go for a straight 5v5. Suning, however, they want to get in your face, they want to find a pick, and they want to blow someone up.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see because both compositions have a lot of like little nuances to them, because of course Rogue Warriors do have some decent re-engage if they get poke off, with Kai'Sa just being able to jump into the backline, and Sett, of course, will just be able to run in there if he can find a good ultimate.
Well, it's time to jump on Summoner's Rift here, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into Suning up against Rogue Warriors, and both of these teams looking to set the record straight. Suning on a 3-loss streak, Rogue Warriors on a 2-loss streak, both of them looking to get some more points on the board.
Another thing I really like about Suning's composition is Bard can really just easily catch out a lot of the members of Rogue Warriors, since you've already pointed out they don't actually have great kind of hard engaging committal.
SofM gets his recall cancelled. Unlucky for him.
Crazy just going to come in and say hello. But yeah, Bard is going to be a champion that's going to be able to do a lot against what Rogue Warriors want to do. They also don't have a great front line. Sett will do a decent job, but obviously having Jayce in the top side and Rek'Sai in the jungle, your composition is very squishy, so this Renekton is going to get a lot of value.
Oh, this is so much damage onto Crazy at 1 minute 20 as well. That's a really nice trade for Bin to start this lane off with. That's going to be the health pot already used for Crazy. Gets to keep this fight going and actually turns things around and makes that a positive trade for himself.
Yeah, typically this is what you would want to do as a melee to range matchup, right? Try to go for that cheese level 1, get off some damage and get out, but Crazy playing it very well, realizing, hey, I can stick onto this Renekton and even out the trade, and does come out with a win, but Bin was able to keep his health potion.
So let's talk a little bit about how these compositions are going to function in terms of where they want to play around this game. We've mentioned how Suning, they really want to get in, find picks, but when are they really going to spike during this one?
Suning's definitely going to be, I wouldn't say early mid-game. It's about the early landing phase and 1 item power spike. LeBlanc's going to be extremely strong. You have a lot of early level 2 gank potential coming out from the Jarvan as well. And just to talk about the mid lane matchup real quick, since we did just see the runes, we don't see Electrocute Syndra all too often. A lot of people do go towards either Phase Rush or Comet. Of course, Comet, a lot less guaranteed on the LeBlanc, and since LeBlanc's going to be jumping in looking for trades, a lot easier to kind of guess where she's going to come in and proc that Electrocute.
Youdang been spotted out here by the Hawkshot coming out from huanfeng. Interesting that he's leveled Hawkshot at level 2. Quite often you see it saved until level 4, but it is incredibly useful for the entire team in a competitive 5v5 environment to keep track of the enemy.
Especially against a Rek'Sai, right, where you can see their bot lane is wanting to push in and he can easily come over that wall.
He's going to come over the wall on the top side right now, though. Although, holds the trigger on this one. Decides he's just going to let Crazy trade.
It's strange because he definitely could have.
He's going to go for it now. Bin went in, flashed on, and shut down for first blood.
Yeah, just overall good committal from Youdang, and it makes you wonder if the first time maybe he assumed SofM could have been there, because it feels like the kill could have been guaranteed either way, but still, this is the kind of advantage we want to see Rogue Warriors pick up early.
So nice little start here for Rogue Warriors, and one of the things we said coming into this was they need to define their identity over the course of this series. So far, Youdang saying our identity is getting Crazy rolling.
And it's kind of interesting because Rogue Warriors' composition is able to fight in the early and mid-game. These compositions kind of spike in very similar ways, except I'd say Rogue Warriors goes a bit further since they do have the Kai'Sa there. But when you have Rek'Sai, Syndra, and Jayce as your top side, you have constant kill and gank pressure in either of these lanes.
One of the big issues I can see as well when it comes to the compositions for Suning is, you know, when you think of Ashe, you think of two strengths, right? You think of the picks from the ultimate, and you also think she's really good at busting through tanks. SofM might be busted through, though, because he has to flag a drag over the wall, stunned up by Ruby. Ignite is there. One more auto should finish the job. Ruby finds a kill, and Angel has to walk away.
And that was just so good from the duo in Rogue Warriors. SofM not respecting that Youdang would have had that reset and could be around, and just great chaining of CC coming out from Ruby.
So, I mean, fantastic start here for Rogue Warriors as Youdang.
Oh, God.
He just wants to do his chickens. Oh, he just wants to do Suning's chickens here. SwordArt's giving him a hard time. But, hey, Youdang right now looking like the best player on Rogue Warriors.
To me, he's looked like a much more stable option than Haro, to where Haro showed more carry potential, was a lot more willing to gank and be bloodthirsty, to where Youdang showed us much more like stability. He's played more Trundle and looked for these team fights, but he's definitely looked like a consistent spot for Rogue Warriors.
SofM has decided it's his turn to make some plays around the map. He's moving in through the Tri-Brush. Crazy knows he's in trouble. Flash is available. Goes over the wall. He's on the wrong side of the map right now. Bin is going for the 1v1. Doesn't have Flash, but he will walk away. There's a blast cone there. Can Crazy get out from this one? SofM follows him, though. He's going to be able to finish off the kill just, I think, one more auto. And SofM barely gets it.
Yeah, and Crazy's not going to have Flash, so Bin's going to be able to try to force in that wave and make Crazy lose out on a lot of golden XP, but still, Rogue Warrior's going to be able to get a dragon on the bot side of the map, so not the end of the world.
Yeah, nice answer from the side of Rogue Warriors, but good bit of proactivity here from SofM, because things were already starting to look pretty bad.
And, ooh, we actually see SofM sticking around, so we could see Crazy get re-dove. But Ruby does have Prio in the mid lane, so looks like he's hovering up.
It could be not even a dive here. We could just see them go straight onto him. But nice ward from Crazy. Good respect that SofM could still be there, reading the situation now to clear away the wave. But they don't care about the wave. They're going in for this one. SofM is going to do the damage. Bin's tanking, though. And they don't have anything. Bin didn't do the damage early enough. Ruby has arrived. Everything is going wrong so far for Suning.
And that call was so strange because Ruby was killing a control ward from Suning in their topside jungle. So he was just a step away to answer at any time.
Oh, and now Angel's caught out. Distortion interrupted. Has to use the Mimic as well. Angel gets away with his life, but so much pressure being put on by Rogue Warriors.
Yeah, they're playing so well. Not only being proactive in their own right, but also doing a very good job at answering Suning's calls. And what's going to be really massive going forward in the game is LeBlanc versus Syndra is a skill matchup, but I would slightly favor it towards LeBlanc in the early stages of the game. Ruby definitely outscales and will get to a point where he can just one-shot that LeBlanc with his combo, but moving up, we do see the dive trying to come out. Bin actually is the one who tanks aggro, and feels like at this point he really is their main damage in this dive, and then Ruby was already hovering towards topside, so very easy for him to follow up. Great scout of the week, and they guarantee another kill.
Yeah, I mean, MVP Thundering Blow from Crazy as well. As we see Bin trying to get in, he gets the stun off. At the same time, Thundering Blow knocks him away, so they can't follow up while he's stunned.
And despite the fact that we talked about how both of these compositions are able to fight in the early game, ooh, actually,
we're not done yet, Lyric. We're not done. Rogue Warriors, you know, coming into this split, we knew Rogue Warriors as this team that just wanted to brawl all the time. It felt like maybe they were moving away from that style. This game, absolutely not.
No, they were trying to, right? We saw in their first series against TS where they drafted that full scaling composition, but instead saying, hey, we are going to try and settle on more what brought us success in spring, play around the strong mechanics of our individual players, and it's working.
Yeah, I mean, back in spring, it felt like, I guess, IG Light, right? Dire IG. It was this team that they wanted to win just through individual skill, just through forcing these skirmishes and turning it into more. It felt like they were going to move away from that one. Apparently not. And since IG have looked a little bit weaker this split, maybe it's their turn to be IG instead.
Oh my god, and it's Bin's turn to get dove once again. They're going to be able to set up the wave just fine.
Yeah, Youdang goes in here. Wait for the minion wave until they can get on under. Nice wave clear, though, coming out from Bin to make this dive a little bit harder. Youdang's here. Crazy's tanking, but Bin finally goes down. It was not the cleanest dive ever, but now an arrow in the bottom side. The action just won't end. Lei goes down, can't get the haymaker out. Knock up onto ZWuJi, and Angel will easily finish this one off for a double.
And this is great for Suning. Really disappointing from Rogue Warriors when they're making this extended play in the top lane. It took like 30 seconds to set it up, so they should expect that Suning are going to look for a play in bot side, and Lei just making a really unfortunate mistake with the recall. And Lei was the player we saw tripping up against IG, constantly caught out of position.
And now we see that this game's pace, we were talking about how fast this game is going to be. We were talking about the mid-game. This pace is getting accelerated so damn quickly because we've got Ruby and Angel with almost all of the gold on both of these teams.
Well, it also makes sense, right? We have a Rek'Sai on one side, very strong early game ganking jungler, Jarvan on the other, and even here we see the LeBlanc coming out, has so much early game burst. SofM here as well, easy flag and drag to knock them up. Both of these composition top sides are so rooted in early game action.
Do you know, the funny thing about that replay is ZWuJi was in Tribrush when SwordArt warded it. He saw that ward go down because he queued SwordArt. He tried to punish him for placing the ward in the first place. They knew Vision was there, and they still recall on it.
Just a big mistake coming out from Rogue Warriors, and so even despite making a lot of these blunders, Suning have still constantly tried to be proactive. We see SwordArt constantly roaming from the bot lane, which he's on Bard, so it is expected, but good to see that they understand that they still need to be the ones trying to create plays as well.
Angel taking a bit of damage here. Dodges the stun though, which is lucky because there was a lot of people about to jump onto him in that lane. SofM's arrived as reinforcements in this mid lane here to clear some vision and help Angel just shove that one out. His Dragon is going to be spawning in a couple of seconds here, Lyric. And we'll see Suning trying to set up for this one.
But still, Rogue Warriors have already collapsing crazy.
Oh, showstopper after the flash, but SwordArt takes a magical journey. And Lei just takes a bunch of damage. Now ZWuJi jumps in, but he's turned golden. And suddenly SwordArt, everyone is using everything, but Youdang can't close the gap. SwordArt has played the perfect bait. Now Bin jumps in. He's onto Lei. Everything going the way of Suning with the Dragon on the map. Angel takes a bit of damage, forces the flash though. And Suning find an advantage.
And Suning doing so well. Like you said, SwordArt just pulling Lei around the rift. Really kind of weird place for Lei to go for that ultimate.
Oh, here we go. ZWuJi has to flash. Flag and drag to follow, though, and Bin finds another on this Renekton. Ruby so low, and bear in mind, he's all of the damage for Rogue Warriors.
This game started completely in Rogue Warriors' favor, right? We were seeing them push the attack onto Suning and counter-gank a lot of SofM's plays, turning out so well, but this one big misplay in the bot side has completely swung the game. 2K gold lead for Suning.
I can't believe how fast-paced this game has been so far. Let's take another look at this from Lei, because it was suboptimal.
SwordArt kind of baiting in a sense, but he's also all alone in the middle of 3 members, but he's in a good place to get out from that magical journey with where Lei had ulted. We see the value of the Bard pick, just being able to keep ZWuJi away and just being able to bait him out. We did see a buff to Guardian, so that also coming into effect there, and Crazy coming in with a good TP with members of Rogue Warriors overextended to guarantee a lot of those kills.
And damn, we have 10 kills in the first 12 minutes here, Lyric. And it's not going to stop anytime soon, because now it's Lei and ZWuJi getting aggressed upon, knocked up, and easily finished off. SofM with another kill for himself. And we see a counterplay in the mid lane as Herald is dropped.
The fact that both of these compositions are very squishy and like snowball-y means that whichever team does get a decisive advantage is going to be able to, push the tempo of this game, and it's going to be much harder for the enemy team to find vision, clear vision, set up their own counterattack.
I guess it's ultimately the correct play to cause chaos, right? Because ultimately, if you let the other team get away with these plays, you lose the game. Now Ruby might be losing his life on this one. Flash forward from Angel, another kill for Bin here. As the Mimic goes down, Youdang exhausted as he jumped on forward. It means he can't get the kill. Another one for the Croc. Now Lei pulls him on in, but with a Tempered Fate, Crazy is going to be stunned up against the wall. No, misses on the stun. In with the Showstopper. Bin might go down, but he pulls himself away. And Angel turns it into a kill for Suning. Instead, in the meantime, ZWuJi's found out by SofM. It's pure chaos and a cataclysm over the wall. Beautifully warded and beautifully played by SofM. Lei's going to go down in the meantime as Angel will find his 4th kill of the game. No, SwordArt takes it instead.
Munchables, I honestly have no idea what's going on. I don't know how to break this down. There's constant fighting everywhere, but Suning are the ones winning out. That's all we need to know. Picking up an objective bot side, Bin getting a ton of plates.
Literally 5 minutes ago, this was dead even, and it looked like maybe Rogue Warriors would have the advantage. Now it's 12 against 4 on the kill feed.
And it's all spawned from that first play in the bot side, just going haywire. Then Rogue Warriors trying to make a play towards the Herald. We didn't really get to see that full skirmish in topside, but just looked like Suning outplayed. And SofM just finding ZWuJi.
That's the second kill from someone just standing in that tri-brush from Rogue Warriors. It doesn't seem to be maybe avoid the tri-brush, guys.
And now with that bot lane turret down, SwordArt's going to be completely unlocked to roam around the map, keep trying to use that Tempered Fate and set up more picks for the side of Suning. And they just have so much CC, going to be very easy to lock someone down and follow it up and burst them out.
So let's take stock for a second here while we do have a lull in the action, because you can see the turret plates went the favor of Suning, only just though, but ultimately the gold lead in general, 5,000 in Suning's favor. Late pulls Angel in, but the Ethereal Chains misses, and it means Rogue Warriors, I was going to say will walk away, but actually dodging the arrow, knock up onto Lei here. He's going to have a Haymaker to keep himself safe for now, but Angel finishes it. SofM pulls a Dragon Strike through. And it's just another pick, another bit of gold.
What's happening to Lei? He's having another bad game.
ZWuJi ain't looking so hot either, as he's going to be taken down. In the mid lane, Ethereal Change hit. ZWuJi actually gets away with that one.
Still, the amount of pressure you just unlocked as the side of Suning is unreal. You're going to be able to put some pressure on this mid turret, then go and take that Rift Herald.
In the meantime, Bin just gets to chill on the top side right now, gets to clear this turret away. And everything has very quickly started to go the way of Suning. Let's just bear in mind, a couple of minutes ago, you were telling us all, Lyric, that I ain't got time to do that. We got to talk about the fight right now, because Youdang is in a whole bunch of trouble. Stun doesn't quite go through, but Angel's got the damage to finish it off. Ruby's out of mana, but he finished SwordArt at least. They've got one kill for themselves. Angel can't go any further. Distort's back. Maybe he can go further. Crazy forced away here. You know, it's going to be 1-for-1.
A lot of people use the term solo queue to describe pro games, but this is by far the most solo queue-oriented game we've seen.
Hang on. This is more chaotic than any solo queue I've played. There is way more going on right now than what people are capable of in solo
This
queue.
is much more like a normal game than it is a solo queue game. We're at 19 kills in 16 minutes, and it's funny that we saw Bin just get to sit up topside for 5 minutes taking that turret, while all this chaos in the mid lane kind of started by Rogue Warriors posturing for a fight, and Suning keeps saying, hey, guess what? We don't actually need to commit to do our damage onto you. Angel just distorts in. We see huanfeng spamming the volleys, throws down the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and just easily able to guarantee these kills.
And it's important to mention as well that with Suning pushing this Herald forward in the mid lane, they're actually not going to be able to commit to this one. I thought they were going to finish off the last outer turret.
Rogue Warriors are once again posturing for a fight, Bunch. They're behind like 6K gold.
They're not afraid, Lyric. They're not afraid. This is the LPL. 6,000 gold behind, and ZWuJi already forced away. He gets away with an ult, though. Tempered Fate onto 3. We force a flash out of the top lane, and down goes Everett. This is just a huge lead already for Suning. There's no way Rogue Warriors can fight them.
This one is looking pretty rough for Rogue Warriors. Your Rek'Sai now, absolutely useless other than your passive. Jayce is 0 and 3. You're going to have some damage even if he doesn't have a tank, but...
So, Youdang, at this point, is just a glorified radar.
Yes,
for the side
exactly.
of Rogue Warriors. Oh, dear. Well, perhaps he can upgrade to Sonar later on in the game, but this is finally going to be the Tier 1 taken, and the Dragon's about to spawn.
And you just got to wonder how much gold the members of Suning are sitting on, right? They're probably going to be at 2.5 completed items by now. And we saw Rogue Warriors were posturing aggressively already, but there's that non-committal engage from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Allows for an easy follow-up from SofM. And then Angel's just so fed at this point, does so much damage. And then Bin aggressively flashing in, just also putting out so much damage. He plays so well when he doesn't have to function as the engage or frontline for this team.
You know what, Lyric? Earlier on in this split, as we started this split off the back of MSC, I was really worried that this was going to be a season of really slow late-game teams where we farm for 30 minutes and then we fight a couple of times, then the game is done. Apparently not. Because what we're seeing yesterday, what we're seeing today is chaos. We're seeing early-game aggression, and I love it.
But then again, this is why you tune into the LPL. And Rogue Warriors are still trying to find ways into the game, so trying to set up this pick on the side lane around Syndra. But at this point, it's tough because Youdang just have so much mobility moving around the map with the Bard and Jarvan. They're going to constantly be able to answer. And even things like the Enchanted Crystal Arrow as an engage and disengage tool are going to work so well.
Lei has not been doing well for wards this game, consistently just being stood in vision. Arrow comes through, and the follow-up is just so damn strong. SofM has been in the perfect spot every single time.
It's also funny that they're just ignoring top wave, right? They don't even need to push at it and try and force someone from Rogue Warriors out. They're just strong enough to push in the jungle as a team, and Rogue Warriors disrespecting so much, they really have no reason to be there, right? There's no objective up. They're not trying to contest their red or anything. So mistakes coming out from Rogue Warriors, and Youdang just playing so damn aggressive.
And the real question for me is, where was this Youdang when they were against IG? Where was this Youdang against EDG, against JDG? They maybe could have took those series.
Let's remember that, 1, this is a byproduct of the draft. 2, this is a byproduct of Rogue Warriors.
True. I mean, ultimately though, a lot of the victories in the LPL can be sort of chalked down to confidence, it has to be said. This is a confident way of playing. Maybe play with a bit more confidence against the top teams as well.
The great thing is we set up how, like, Youdang's strengths and weaknesses before the game, and they drafted, I wouldn't necessarily even say to their strengths, but they covered their weaknesses with this draft, right?
Yeah.
And then the fact that Rogue Warriors come in, they do make a couple of mistakes. It's just so great to see Youdang be able to execute on this. Having 18 kills in 20 minutes with 2 Drakes, we're 10k gold up, 5 turrets.
I mean, ultimately, I like this from Youdang. If they have problems doing front-to-back fighting, if they have problems with coordinated team fights, don't play for the late game, right? Do the WE thing. Force your specific win condition every single game and basically say, look, you have to beat us in this way or you don't get to beat us. Temper Fate in the top lane in the meantime. Ruby's been found. Ethereal Chains will lock him down. Knock up as well. Nearly turned it around onto Angel. Ooh, I was worried for him there. SofM, yet another kill on the job.
And you're at a point as Rogue Warriors where as long as you're making sure that Youdang aren't doing the Baron, that's fine. You need to be catching waves under your turrets. You can't be making these aggressive plays. If you want to get vision, you need to rely on Rek'Sai's passive or get vision as a 5-man. You do have a lot of poke, so if they're looking for some kind of brush play, you should be able to catch it out, but we can't see Rogue Warriors aggressively pushing for vision, aggressively pushing side lanes looking for turrets. They need to be the ones turtling and kind of waiting out a Youdang overstep.
I just want to point something out on the scoreboard as well, Lyric here. As we'll wait and see if Youdang do overstep. There's a Jayce on the scoreboard. It's in the pocket of Angel. He's got 16 stacks, and he's going to be looking for more.
He's been playing this LeBlanc so beautifully as well. He's like known his limits quite well. He's playing super aggressive in Rogue Warriors' face, knowing, hey, they actually don't really have a good way of locking me down. I can do this.
Yeah, so long as you can dodge that scat of the week. And the Crystalline Arrow, because Ruby has been found once again. And it's another kill going their way. And bear in mind, huanfeng, he'll annihilate these towers. Crazy's in trouble. Lei getting over towards his top laner to keep him safe. And I don't know if Lei can keep him safe. SofM over the wall now. There's been just charges on in. Crazy stunned on up. And it's basically a solo kill there from Bin. Tempered Fate catches them out. SwordArt will find the stun. And it's a kill over to huanfeng on the support Ashe.
And I love this whole sequence of events because aside from all this action, Youdang set up their bot lane to crash into turret, so it was unanswered. Rogue Warriors lost a bunch of waves. They rotated top, found that pick, transitioned that to mid, so they've been playing the whole map.
And I'm loving seeing the way that they're playing around this Ashe pick especially as well. huanfeng is not going to be topping the damage numbers at the end of this game, but using this E on cooldown, using these crystalline arrows so beautifully. He only missed 1 this entire game as far as I've seen.
Youdang with long-range engage options, playing these pick compositions, I absolutely love it. Having Angel on these champions that give him a lot of agency to make the plays that he wants is where he thrived last split, and that's why he looks so good on that Kassadin.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of Angel last split, you think of things like the Kassadin, as you're saying, even things like the Azir, but it was mostly late game things, and it's exciting to see him leaning in more towards things like the LeBlanc this split, and forcing the issue, showing this confidence.
Right, because that was what that play was. Going in, as long as he doesn't get hit by the scout of the week, he's fine. Great follow-up arrow coming out from huanfeng. And that pick, along with the prior wave setup, just opened up 2 inhibitors.
We have to take a moment here and talk about the fact that across the board, things don't look great right now for Rogue Warriors, but this bottom lane especially, ZWuJi and Lei, they've had a really tough game for themselves. 0-4-0, 0-6-0, 0-10 essentially in the bottom lane.
I want to pull this conversation back to us saying that Rogue Warriors need to commit to a roster because...
Oh, hang on. Lei's in trouble here. Stun after stun after stun after stun. Goodbye, Sett. Flash from the Tempered Fate, and ZWuJi keeps himself safe.
Now we are up to 0-11-0 on this bot lane of Rogue Warriors, and they're just going to be able to keep constantly pushing out waves. Doesn't even matter about Jayce or Renekton or anything like this. All of your carries win in those isolated scenarios. You're going to have the push. You're going to be able to rotate first. You have the CC to lock members down when the others are answering waves.
Yeah, but Lyric, I don't think we're going to have much more rotation this game because there's only one place that Suning needs to be right now. It's Rogue Warriors base. Late up in 2 seconds. And Suning are actually going to play very respectfully here. I feel like they could have just ended.
They probably could have tried to set up some kind of pick, but they don't have their Enchanted Crystal Air up or the Tempered Fate, so those have been 2 of the key things to their success, and they're just going to be able to go to this Baron. If Rogue Warriors run into them, you don't even need those pick tools. They're just going to die.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you've got 3 inhibs. Why not get the Baron, get 6 super minions at a time?
They're still looking for it, though, Mudge.
They don't need the rest of the team. They've got Angel with a 20-stack Jayce. He's not afraid of you. He will jump away, though. Ruby won't be able to get the stun in the meantime. Baron's taken down. They're still fighting. Two people alone in the jungle. There's a whole Rogue Warriors team. They fear nothing. Geez. Ruby's caught out as well. SwordArt. He's having a bit of a renaissance once again here on the Bard. He's back on form, and Ruby is found. Bit of damage onto huanfeng. Nice flash forward. And with the Aegis, he's practically invincible. Now they can just waltz this one home.
Yeah, this game is pretty over.
Pretty over. There's a whole team on the Nexus right now, and they want some kills on the Fountain as well. Suning looking fantastic on the back of this one. We said they need to kind of define their identity a little bit. That's one way to do it.
I love it. They actually did end up picking 1 kill per minute, 26 kills in a